Hi everyone, welcome back to Kat's Book Corner. We talk about all things book and bookish. This is my first wrap up for May because I did finish 2 books. Okay, now that slump, and it's going actually pretty great because I enjoyed both of these. These are both really good. They weren't 5, which I'm disappointed about because I need a 5-star and I haven't had that yet. But these were close. Both of them were really close. I really enjoyed both of them. And they're both parts of series, and me and series is like, So I am excited to try and read these series eventually, but I still have more books to go before I can even think about actually reading a full series. But the 2 I read were Trial of the Sun Queen by Lisa J. Tooley and One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McGinnis. Both really good. Okay, let's start with first one I read, which is Trial of the Sun Queen. This was a 4.75. I really loved it. Okay, so these are the non-spoiler thoughts. I will mention when the spoilers come in, as we normally do for these wrap-ups. It was really good. I wasn't expecting to like it. I really was expecting to like it, but I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. And if Throne of Glass is supposed to be better than this, I am so excited for when I eventually start Throne of Glass. So, I really liked it. It's about Lore, who's this prisoner in a kingdom who gets basically transported to a different kingdom overnight, and she doesn't know how or why, to be part of this competition to get with the Sun King. And it's Fae, so there's people with wings, and there's also another POV, which is, I forget his name all the time, which is Nadir. He is the Aurora King, who is owns the prison that Lore was in. This is the Aurora King's son, Nadir. I I enjoy his character as well. They're both really good. Although it's less than I would have liked. I would have liked Nadir to be in a little bit more of the book. But it's a series, so he'll probably be in more of the other ones. But I really liked Lore. And I don't normally I don't know. I was so interested the whole time. I finished this in a day, and it's almost 400 pages. I think it's 386. I really liked it. And it was really easy to read too. It's a nice first fantasy, even though I am fantasy girly. I really liked it. And there's a lot of different characters you meet. You meet the Sun King, who has a really funny name. His name is Atlas. I just think it's funny that he's the Sun King and his name is Atlas. Gabriel, who I enjoy Gabriel. And then you meet the other contestants who are competing to win the trial that they're in. And there's secrets and mysteries. And normally I don't like this trope where the character has secrets that's keeping from you, the reader. But this book, it worked. It worked that they were keeping secrets, because you were able to figure it out as they were remembering it. So I liked that. I'm really excited for the next book. It's a completed series from what I know, and there's 4 books in it. But I really enjoyed this. It was so good. This is what completely got me out of my slump, because I read The Hobbit and The Starless Crown, and they were both fine. But this is what really got me out of my slump, and it was so good. Okay, on to the next book. One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McGinnis. This was a 4.5. I enjoyed it so much. I love the mystery. It was really good. It follows after a event in detention, someone who has a lot of notoriety around the school, another student, dies, and there's blame on these 4 characters who each have a very big secret that he was going to reveal. You have Brayden Rabies, you have Addie, or Adeline Preston, you got Cooper Clay, and Nathaniel, I don't remember his name, but they call him Nate, and they each have this kind of trope, actually, like, because she's the brain, he's the criminal, she's like the beauty queen, he's the sports star. So I really, really liked it. There was like so many secrets, and it was really, really interesting. And the romance, I wasn't expecting actually, like, there was a romance trope in this book. It was a subplot, so it wasn't like the big story, the mystery was the big story. But I really enjoyed the romance subplot, which I don't really, I mean, I love romance books because a lot of my fantasies have romance as like a big part, such as like ACOTAR and Crescent City, and a lot of other ones have like romance as a big part, but like, I wasn't expecting to like the romance as much as I did. It's lower than a 5 because, well, there's a part, we'll get into the spoiler part why it's not a 5, but another reason is it feels too real. I want a book that can be escapism. I love it. I really, really did love it. It was so really, really good. But it felt too real. Like, they all had real problems that I, like, know people who had problems like these. So, I don't want to read about that. But, like, it was still really good, so I couldn't give it less than that. But, like, having the problems that these people have, it feels real, and I don't want that. I don't want that in a book, because I read to escape. I don't read to, like, live in the real world. But there's some, like, elements that are, like, not real, like the murder thing, and some of, like, certain things the characters do aren't exactly realistic, but it still felt like real, and I don't like it. And my copy, I don't know if it's like an excerpt from the next book, One of Us is Next, or if it's like an extra epilogue, but my copy had that. I mean, I don't think it was something for the next book, because it has that after that, so maybe it's just an extra epilogue, which I really liked. I liked the extra epilogue. It made me enjoy it a bit more. Okay, now let's get into my spoiler thoughts. Trial of the Sun Queen follows Lore, who's in like this prison with her 2 siblings, who she adores. Like, she loves her siblings so much. I love it. That's like the founding part of her character, like the love of her siblings. And she gets in trouble, and she's sent to like basically their hole, which is outside, and like you could die very, very easily. But she gets rescued by like a fae and brought to the Sun Kingdom to participate in like this trial, and she doesn't know why. And then you start getting information after information, like, is why. And I don't know, I haven't seen many like reviews on it, but I don't know if people actually liked Gabriel because of like what happened at the end. But I enjoyed Gabriel. I thought he was a good character, and from what I got from Nadir's point of view, he actually thinks Gabriel is a good guy as well. And like, that's the big trope. You're supposed to be like, oh, the Aurora King is awful, like that kingdom is bad, they're doing awful things, which they are, because they have the prison, and the Aurora King isn't great, as Nadir, his son, says. He hates him. But the Sun King also isn't great. Like, he's completely awful at the end when he does his full like villain switch, which, to be fair, I called it coming in, because it's supposed to be a slow burn romance, and she gets with him like, I don't know, around here. So you're like, that's not the right guy. That's not the guy she's gonna end the whole series with. I think she's gonna end with Nadir, because slow burn, and it's dual POV with those two, so I'm assuming it's those two getting together. But I really like it, and like, there's all these kingdoms, and I have a feeling she knows what happened to the Heart Kingdom, because that seems to be like something that like, it's all mysterious that it disappeared, and she had like this one like jewel from her parents before like they were killed, and she was sent to prison, and she met the Aurora King, which I don't think a normal prisoner would ever meet, and he left them alive for like punishment. So I'm like, So there's that. And Atlas playing the part of being like, oh, I am the Sun King, I'm awesome, I actually really love you, Lore, I want you to be the queen, when in all reality he also thinks she has something to do with the Heart Kingdom, which the mirror that she looks into, which would prove that she was supposed to be with him, it's like a looking glass mirror. Like, it'll turn you into like a high fae in order to be with the Sun King. So it happens to go to her nemesis that the entire book has, like this one girl who just doesn't like her because she thinks she's above her because she's from royalty, and Lore is like not. And no one knows she comes from the Aurora prison. They think she came from like the slums of the Sun Kingdom, which apparently that's where they bring like the 10th contestant whenever they do their sun trials. And even like when you're reading it, you're like, Nadir's like, oh, those sun trials, they're barbaric. Like, because he knows something we don't at the time. So we're like, these don't seem as barbaric as he's stating. But like then they get to the end, you realize, oh, that's not how Alice really is. He's just playing a part. So I liked that. I liked like, because both characters had like different perspectives. And of course, the entire time, Laura's like not fully believing that she can trust anything, that she can love the Sun King. Like, she's not fully trusting that. He's like, she's probably doing this to the other contestants. I don't think it's me. It's just, he's doing it to everyone. Like, she doesn't fully believe that ever. Like, even at the end, like right before his big turn, she doesn't fully believe it. And then when he does something crazy and makes her believe that he killed her loved ones, like her brother and sister, she's like, absolutely not. I am not going to be with you. And Gabriel, who doesn't know anything that the Sun King's doing, I mean, he knows a little bit because apparently they were friends, but he's like, you know, his like guard. So he's like trying to protect him, and he thinks Laura's gonna hurt him. So he ends up like trying to hurt her and like ignoring her and not really doing things. But then when Nadir asks if someone is a prisoner from this prison that I'm looking into, because that's his whole like thing this series, his dad asks him to find this prisoner who escaped. And he won't tell her anything about her. She's like, oh, she just escaped. You need to find her. So he looks for her, and he's like, and he asks Gabriel when he's attending like the party at the end, have you seen anyone? And like because he can't do anything because he's still like beholden to the king, he like kind of like lowers Laura's shirt where like the prison brand would be, just enough for Nadar to see it. So he's like, that's her. So then he breaks her out of prison at the end because the Sun King's not going to let her go because he thinks she still has value somewhere. And he gets her out of prison and gets her back to the Aurora Kingdom, which for the entire book, she's like, I don't want to go back. But then at the end, she's like, I want to go home. I want to see my siblings again. So like when she's finally back in the Aurora Kingdom, she's like, I'm home, even if she kind of hates where it is. So I really liked the journey that she went on from the book. It was really good. I really liked it. I wanted there to be more Nadir because I felt like there was not enough, which is one of the reasons it's lower than a 5. And also, I don't know, I just didn't think it was enough to be a 5. But I did really enjoy it. And I don't know. Oh, and there's like this, I think it might be a Fated Mate series because the way that they like Nadir and Laura look at each other, it kind of makes them feel things they weren't feeling before. So I'm like, it might be Fated Mate. It's like that same look that Rhys gave to Feyre in the end of ACOTAR. So that's what I'm thinking. But anyway, there's that one. Now moving on to One of Us is Lying. Meredith Attention and Simon, who is like, he runs like this gossip page, like deep gossip, where he's spreading things that, well, obviously people shouldn't be doing, like cheating on their boyfriend or girlfriend. He like puts it out for the entire high school to see, and it's not nice. He's not a great guy. And he's in detention with these 4 people who obviously would never end up in detention together because someone planted phones in their backpack. Like, because in one class they're not supposed to have phones because the teacher's like anti-technology, like completely. So they all get like trapped in here because of these phones. Of course, Nate is always here, so he doesn't really see the issue, but because he's, you know, a criminal. And Simon dies. I think it's like an allergic reaction at first. So, like, someone coated this thing in peanut oil, so they're like, it's probably one of you. So then, as like they're being investigated, like their secrets get outed. Like, Brayden cheated on her chemistry test in order to pass her chemistry class because, like, the real thing that happens with her family is they were putting so much pressure on her to go to Yale to be the perfect student, all because her little sister Maeve had cancer as a kid. So she's like basically being successful too. So she cheated on the test in order to like to keep the pressure up. So that's her secret. Then we got Cooper, who he has 2. And they'll get to the reasons why they're 2 towards the end, but like I really did like that. His first one is, and it's actually, this one is the only secret that Simon was going to post that wasn't real. That he was taking steroids to be the top baseball player. Which doesn't really, it's not true. But his real secret that we get at the end is he's gay. Like, he has a boyfriend, and he's like from the South. His dad would never approve of him seeing a guy, so he keeps that a secret. And eventually, when it does reveal itself, his dad doesn't approve, and he has to like basically learn how to be himself, which is really, really nice. And to learn that he can accept himself even when he thought he never could. Then you got Adeline, or Addie, who is like perfect princess, like, you know, prom princess, that type of thing. Homecoming princess, not queen. She was never like at the top. So, and like the pressure she has on her from her family is you have to be pretty because that's the only thing that's going to get you a guy, because her mom thinks getting a guy is the only thing. And she has this perfect boyfriend, this perfect life, and she doesn't think she's worthy of that. Like, she has so much like down on herself that she lets her boyfriend Jake control basically their entire social life. And like one summer, this is like the secret that's kind of bad, but it's fine, because you get like a forgiveness towards her at the end. One summer night when her boyfriend was gone, she cheated on him when she was drunk with a guy named TJ. And she's kept that secret, and eventually she has to tell her boyfriend, and it basically like condemns her entire life. Her boyfriend breaks up with her, obviously, and then like shuns her from the rest of like her like school. Well, not school, but like they're like, because they're in the popular group, like the entire popular group like shuns her out. Then you got Nate, who is a drug dealer in order to get the money to keep his house afloat, because his mom is an addict who ran away to Oregon, and he lied about her dying because he thought that's better than people thinking she didn't come back. And he has an alcoholic father who doesn't do anything, so he's on probation for that. So it's like he's doing what he has to do in order to basically survive, which it's crazy. Like, that's like the thing that he's doing, which is the big bad problem. But they're all like in detention together, and Simon dies, so then they're like looked at as, oh, you guys must be like the people who did it, because you were the only people in that room, you're the only people who could have gotten in that room. Which it's, I mean, I guess, but I don't really know. But I did, I really, really liked it because of like a couple things. One is, I'm really looking for that because I really don't know where it is. But there's this one, like, because they use like his posts as stuff. Oh, let's see. It's somewhere. Let's see. Oh, and there's like these Tumblr posts that are being outed to like, oh, it's definitely these guys who are doing it. Which it's fine, because it's like bringing up secrets about them, like that no one else in that room wouldn't know. And eventually they sort of come into themselves. Brighter wants to like solve this whole thing because she doesn't want to be on the line, and she's disappointed her parents because they found out she cheated. And Nate stopped dealing because he was like, I have to stay clean in order for me not to get strong-armed into this. Like, because all the other people could afford fancy lawyers. He's the only one who can. So he's basically, if worse comes to worse, he's the scapegoat. He's the easy person to blame. Addie comes into herself. She like dyes her hair. She becomes like this whole other person. She becomes who she wants to be, because she could never do that when she was with other people. Cooper eventually comes out. Well, he's outed by the police, which is kind of awful. But he comes out and he's happy with his boyfriend, which is, it's really nice. And then we find out at the end, Simon did this all himself. He's the one who wanted to bring notoriety to the school. He was the one who wanted copycats to copy him. So he's the one who drank the peanut oil, which resulted in him dying. That's what he did. And secret twist, Jake, Addie's boyfriend, found out that Addie cheated on him because Simon told him. And he was really, really mad at her. But he was like, you know what? I'll help you with this, Simon. I'll release those Tumblr posts. I will give them your manifesto at the end of the year. And we'll put Addie in prison for it because she deserves it, because he's awful. And then he tried to kill her at the end, and Cooper has to come in and save her. It's so good. I love the friendship that they form, because they form like this very unique, like trauma bonded friendship, and it's really, really nice. And Nate and Bryden, they get into a romantic little couple, and I love it. I never thought I would have loved that pairing, but it makes so much sense because they both have crushes on each other, like from forever ago, and they really, really like each other. And Nate's mom actually comes back and she's clean now. She like wants to help, so it's weird, but it's there. And eventually he gets strong-armed into prison, and they're trying to get him out. They hire him a lawyer, they get him out, but he does break up with Bryden because he's like, you're the only good thing in my life. I can't ruin that. I can't. Which I get it, but it's still eh. And eventually, he asks her on a date at the end. And then the epilogue, the extra epilogue, it's from May's point of view, which is Bryden's little sister, which is really nice. And it takes place Thanksgiving of the next year, when they're like doing like this a year in review thing of like the Bayview 4, which is what they're called. Like they're named together. And Nate and Bryden have like a on again, off again relationship. Very, very rocky, but still very, very good, because they got back together, as Maeve says, that day when Bryden came back from Yale, which he got into because she admitted everything and retook the class in order to get an actual A. So she got into Yale. Nate's doing some construction stuff. He's taking community classes. He's doing really good. Cooper's in college, working on his throwing, and Addie's just working at a restaurant. She's living her best life. So I really liked all the characters. I love how, like, as much as I say I hate how real it is, I love how real it is, because it felt like so found family, and I really, really love that sort of feeling. So I love it, but I also hate it because it feels real and I don't like it, because a lot of the problems that the people have are problems that a lot of people have. The pressure to be perfect, the keeping your true self a secret, not feeling like you're worthy, having to do dangerous things in order to survive. Like it feels real, and it's kind of scary how real this actually felt. But there is 2 more I'm probably gonna read eventually. And there's one thing I'm so worried about. I want Bryden and Nate to end up together because I love their relationship so much. Even if like I get like, oh, they got back together, like the last epilogue of the last book, I'll be happy because they seemed just so perfect to each other. So I really, really did enjoy that. But there's that one. The next book I'm reading, which might be my 5-star, is All In, which is the 3rd in the Natural series. And this is apparently everyone's favorite book in the series, so. And it's in Vegas, so maybe Sloane backstory, because she was found in Vegas for the Naturals program. So maybe that. And Cassie maybe get some more information about who killed her mom, so that might be good. And she's gonna be with Dean in this book, obviously, and she'll be with Dean in the next book, obviously, because she picked Dean. Unless they're gonna do the whole switcheroo, which I hope not, because it'll break Dean's heart. And as much as I say I love Michael Moore, I do love Michael Moore, but like Dean is still so sweet, so I wouldn't want her to break his heart just because she likes Michael. So, but I also hope Michael gets a happy ending, because he is my favorite, so he needs one, because he's been through a lot of trauma as well. They all have. He needs a happy ending. All the Naturals need a happy ending. So I am really, really excited for this. I think it is the longest of the 3 I've read so far. So, and then the next book I will try and read for next week is Fire, which is the prequel to Graceling. Prequel? Sequel? I don't know. But to be fair, this is just as big as the first one. And I finished that in a day because it's an easy, quick read because of the story was really interesting, so I kind of hope I'm able to do the same with this, because, well, this is a book I'm not really looking forward to, because Graceling was fine. It was I think if I remember, like a 3.75, it was fine. It just wasn't my favorite, so I'm kind of hoping this is better, because otherwise it's just kind of a disappointing way to end my TBR that's been pretty good so far. But then, as I said like weeks and weeks ago, that I'm going to complete my rereading of the Game of Thrones, which is the first one, and the Clash of Kings, which are the only two I haven't reread yet, which is kind of weird because I read them so out of order. Like, I read 3rd, 5th, 4th, and I'll probably 1, 2, or 2, 1. I haven't decided which order I'm going to read them in yet, which is fine because I read them once, so I don't really need to read them in order again. Like, I can read them in any order I want. That's what I've been doing with the Harry Potter series. I've been reading them in any order I want. Like, I started with 6, went to 5, then 3, and eventually it'll be like 7, 4, 2, 1 or something, but I don't know. We'll see. And then we'll get to pick my new TBR, which will be exciting because I have so many books that I actually want to read left, so I'm really, really excited for that. But otherwise, if you liked this, please like, comment, and subscribe if you liked it, and bye everyone!